Which states are worst hit? Why is oxygen transportation difficult? As India touches 16 lakh COVID 19 infections, a number of states have reported shortages of medical oxygen for a growing pool of patients in need of oxygen support. India plans to import 50,000 metric tons of medical oxygen to cater to the rising demand. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare have been directed to float a tender for the import. Which states are the worst hit? Consumption of medical oxygen in Maharashtra has reached the state's full production capacity of 1250 tons. The state has 6.38 lakh active cases of COVID-19 and about 10% of them, an estimated 60 to 65,000, are on oxygen support, the highest for any state. Maharashtra is additionally taking 50 tons from Chhattisgarh and another 50 tons from Gujarat daily. It is also slated to receive 100 tons from Reliance plant in Jamnagar, Gujarat. Madhya Pradesh, with 59,193 active cases as on April 16, requires 250 tons daily. The state does not have its own manufacturing plant and relies on Gujarat, Chhattisgarh and Uttar Pradesh for oxygen supply. As cases rising in neighboring states, MP is staring at the possibility of supplies from there running out. Gujarat's requirement has crossed 500 tons per day for over 49,737 active COVID-19 cases. The center appointed Empower Group 2 formed to monitor the supply of essential medical equipments during the pandemic has been focusing on 12 high burden states. The Maharashtra, MP, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Karnataka, UP, Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Punjab and Haryana, where oxygen requirement is set to shoot in the coming days. Over 17,000 tons of oxygen will be directed in 3 batches from states that have surplus oxygen to these 12 states to meet their projected demand. The problem is acute in rural areas which are going through a rise in COVID-19 cases but have no large storage tankers, and in small nursing homes which rely on daily supply of oxygen cylinders. How much oxygen is produced, where and what are the constraints on supply? Oxygen has applications in the iron steel industry, hospitals, pharmaceutical units that manufacture vials and the glass industry. Currently, most states have diverted their entire oxygen production for medical use. Industry experts said India has the capacity to produce more than 7,000 metric tons of medical oxygen. The majority manufacturers are Inox Air Products, Linde India, Goyal MG Gases Private Limited, National Oxygen Limited. The largest of these, Inox, produces 2,000 tons per day. We are currently contributing to 60% of the total medical oxygen requirements in country. We have stopped nitrogen and argon production and diverted all resources for oxygen production. During the first wave of the pandemic last year, small manufacturers that produced industrial oxygen too were allowed to produce medical oxygen by changing certain specifications. This had helped expand the medical oxygen production capacity. Manufacturers prepare liquid oxygen with 99.5% purity, which is stored in jumbo tankers and transported to distributors in cryogenic tankers at specified temperature. At distributed level, a process of regasification is followed to convert the oxygen into gaseous form and fill it in jumbo cylinders and Dura cylinders. These cylinders then go to smaller supplies or directly to hospitals. The problem is demand is high, but there are not enough cylinders and tankers to store and transport oxygen, an industry expert said. It is not possible to immediately set up new oxygen manufacturing plants or expand existing ones. In the last 1 year, Inox started 2 plants in West Bengal and UP to produce 200 and 150 tons oxygen respectively per day. The process of installing one plant took 24 months. An Inox official said they have plans for more plants in MP, UP, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. What are the hurdles in transportation? India does not have enough cryogenic tankers to ensure 24 into 7 road transport for medical oxygen. Now, when oxygen is being transported from one state to another, the travel time it takes from the manufacturer to a patient's bed has increased from 3 to 5 days to 6 to 8 days. The smaller a hospital or the more remote its location, the longer the time taken for the oxygen to reach there. Smaller suppliers have also complained they do not have enough jumbo and dura cylinders to keep the flow steady. The increase in cost for transport and logistics has increased the cost of refilling cylinders. A cylinder that would earlier cost rupees 100 to 150 for refilling now cost 500 to 2000 rupees. So what is the way forward? Usually 20 out of every 100 patients turn symptomatic and 3 of them critical. The pool that may require oxygen varies from 10 to 15% 100 patients. Among solutions that are being worked out of proposed, the Empowered Group plans to identify 100 hospitals in far-flung areas to install pressure swing absorption plants which can manufacture their own oxygen and make the hospital self-reliant. This will cut transportation cost and delays in oxygen supply to remote parts. Another 162 pressure swing absorption plants are in the process of completion. Hospitals are setting up huge storage tanks to store supplies that can last at least 10 days. In the last 1 year, several civil hospitals have set up such jumbo tankers to avoid the daily wait for cylinders. Industry experts in MP said they plan to use trains to transport oxygen faster instead of solely dependent on traditional road transport. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has suggested airlift of oxygen supply from one state to another. Surplus oxygen stocks from iron and steel plants have been diverted for medical use. The Empowered Group 2 has also decided that argon and nitrogen tankers be diverted for oxygen transport. For this, the Petroleum Safety Organization has issued orders. The group has also advised use of industrial cylinders for refilling. The Health Ministry has repeatedly warned against oxygen wastage and unnecessary use. Industrial experts have raised concerns over possible leakages in hospital pipelines that supply oxygen. Last year, an expert committee under the Health Ministry fixed oxygen supply to 40 liters in intensive care units and 15 liters in normal wards per patient per minute. It has advised monitoring of patients on oxygen support daily, and that only those with oxygen saturation level below 94% be put on oxygen support. Thank you.